Hello, Treasury Talent community. It's Simon Lynch here, and just thought I'd give you a quick snapshot of the Australian market. I get asked a lot around what's going on in the marketplace and how's it changed. So after a really tough back end of the year where not many people did a lot and sat on their hands, 2021 has come out of the blocks reasonably strongly. So the market is not quite to what it was before the pandemic, but it's getting pretty close, probably like 90% there in terms of the volumes. Interestingly, the Brisbane market has been really buoyant. That's probably up about 80% in the first half of the year. I think most of that has run its course. Sydney, there's been some newly created roles and a bit of movement, so that's bubbling along pretty much in a normal state. Melbourne has been a little bit quieter. Obviously, with the lockdowns that they've had, that sort of lost a bit of the momentum down there. So Melbourne definitely has been a little bit quiet. So across the major markets, I would say overall, we're getting pretty close to getting back to where things were in a pre-pandemic market. Remembering always that Treasury is a niche market. It's not a huge volume, but at the same time, there's always constant change, and there are more roles out there than you would think. Really, at the senior end, there's been a couple of newly created roles, so treasurer roles that have been out there. That's created a little bit of movement. So it's always a timing position at the top end. And as those roles play out and people move seats, then there'll be some roles backfilling that will also come up. There has been huge demand at the junior end. Obviously, your treasury analysts, treasury managers, where the volume of the market is, it's the bottom of the triangle. So there's definitely always a need in that space, and that has been bubbling along pretty well. So everything in that sort of 115 to 140 space, there's a constant need there. The senior treasury analysts at the 140 to 150, definitely a number of roles in that space as well. As you get up to the treasury manager, that sort of 150 to 180, that's the most common role. There's a lot of change, there's a lot of churn. People jump for title and jump for money. So there's always a constant need there across all markets. As you get closer to the 200K market and moving more from a senior treasury manager into that assistant treasurer level, the market really switches the other way and competition becomes a lot more fierce. There's a lot of people who can do that job. There's people who are wanting to step up. There's people who are wanting to stay in the same role but move companies. So that market likewise is very much around timing. There hasn't been as much of that in recent times. It was fairly buoyant, more Feb, March, April time. But there's a couple of things in the pipeline there that should materialise as we get into the second half of the year. So really, back to what I would say is more normality after we've had a pretty quiet back end to 2020, and feeling fairly positive that there will be a little bit more movement that takes us into the back half of 2021. If you want any more information or specifics, please just give me a call, 0481 136 433. Happy to help and hopefully get you your next role. Just a quick update as well. Make sure you jump onto the podcast. Have a look. There's some really great people coming up in the forward planning there, and also jump onto the YouTube channel where you're obviously watching this video today. There's heaps of great content there that you'll be able to get free of charge.